She moved it. There we go, perfect. Okay, what is your name?
Marvin Finke.
Okay. And when did you graduate?
1946.
Awesome. What were some major historical moments in your high school career?
Oh, had a lot of them. One of the things that was always interesting about, 15, 20 minutes before lunchtime, Larry Crockett was a local race driver here. He lived in Columbus, and he'd get out about 15 minutes early, and he'd start his vehicle, and you just hear the sound, and everybody knew it was close to lunchtime. That was always interesting, just different things like that, and then the activities. And I moved in from Clifford to Columbus High School my junior year in '44, and Clifford, of course, was not there anymore as far as the school, and a very small school, and it's pretty big change going from a small school to a big school, so that was kind of worrisome, but just believe me, I'm so happy that I made the change and the results, because I had so many friends down here and they accepted me. You treat people right, usually they treat you right, and it was just a wonderful atmosphere, and had a wonderful time. I've been blessed, that's all I can say.
Awesome. What was the school atmosphere like? You said it was very positive, like you said. Very
positive, yes. It was just a positive attitude. You learn to know a lot of people, and just a great time. It just opened up a lot of opportunities that you don't have in a small school and a small environment. Because basically the only two townships that doesn't go to Columbus back then, still that way basically, is Flat Rock and Hawk Creek Township. They have their own school corporation. So you had the whole county, you learned to know people all over the county, and it was just a good opening, good environment.
What did you enjoy most about your high school career?
People, friends, making friends, and just the interaction. Classmates and teammates, and it was just a wonderful feeling to be received as well as I was, and it was both ways. I treated them right and they treated me right, and it just kept growing from that, and it was just a wonderful move. That's all I can say. Not that I wasn't happy at Clifford, but when you only have 4 or 5 people in a class and you're going to graduate, there's not a lot of activities that you can participate. They're just not there, and here it just opened up a whole new world for me.
That's a really big change. What was the rivalry between North and East like?
East was not here then.
Yes. So were there any other rivalries?
Shelbyville. See, the sectional, we usually played at Shelbyville, and Columbus and Shelbyville, that always made a big rivalry that way, but Shelbyville was definitely the big rivalry.
Were there any arguments or anything like that?
Oh, it was always written up a lot in the papers, the rivalry, and it kind of sparked the rivalry that way.
Yeah. What was your favorite class?
Pardon?
Your favorite class? What was your favorite class?
Oh my, I always liked math, and I just enjoyed classes. I wasn't the best student, but I enjoyed it. I made passing grades and just average. I mean, that's just the best I can tell you. I wasn't a student, but I participated in everything and passed them all and enjoyed it.
Yeah. What was your favorite teacher, or who was your favorite teacher?
Well, I've got more than one of those. Miss Butler was typist teacher, business teacher. Mr. Ganth was my coach, and then there was Mr. Breeding, who brought me to school part of the time. I had to drive to school most of the time, or pick up rides that way, and so the people had helped me a lot then, and a lot of them did. I mean, I can't say I didn't like any teachers, because you treat people right, like I say, they treat you right, and that was my experience.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of good teachers.
Awesome. What were your favorite restaurants in Columbus when you went here?
Oh my, wasn't it Saps there on about 12th Street? I think that was one of the favorite. There weren't a lot of them back then. They were few and far between. And that's.
What did they have at Saps?
Short orders, just hamburgers and stuff, and it was just a good hangout.
Nice.
And then, of course, we had the Jive Kennel downtown, that the school kids went to, was a place to go after school in evenings that way till about 9 o'clock. So there was a lot of activities there. If you had a little time, you'd go down there and be with fellow students
yeah.
and different activities. Very nice.
What was the hit place to meet up? Was that the place?
That was Jive Kennel and Saps, basically.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Who was the principal?
Lauren Chastain, Mr. Chastain.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have to do senior projects or any?
Didn't have any senior projects, not that I remember. And I didn't have. I don't think that was even popular at that
Yeah.
time. I don't remember if it was.
Yeah. What did the yearbook look like when you were in high school?
There's the one we got
Awesome.
in
Put it in the frame.
46.
Okay, you can just hold it up in the frame if you want. There we go. Awesome. Cool. Okay. How many people were in the school total?
Well, we had about 240 to 245, I think, graduated because, see, we was right there when the war started. They're finishing up. A lot of them joined and so on. Our numbers fluctuate a little bit. Some of them came back, but around 240, 45 was in our class. So if you go 4 times that
Yeah.
would be close.
Gotcha.
1,000, you can say 1,000. That's
Yeah.
pretty close.
What were the hot styles back then?
What the shoes?
Like the hair with the clothes,
The shoes probably.
the shoes?
Another thing you remember back then, gas was rationed. The hot item in school would be having gas tickets to sell, and a lot of them did. They didn't have many, but if you had a gas ticket they're worth about 4 gallon, I mean they were hot items.
Oh yeah.
That's hard to believe today, but
Yeah.
that's a gas coupon.
That's so funny. What was the defining moment of your high school experience? If you have one.
Oh my. Making the basketball team and playing as a starter and winning the sectional probably at Shelbyville. That would be one of my highlights. Plus a lot of others. I had a lot of good experiences, but that would be
That's pretty cool.
very, very cool. Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
nice. That was always a struggle to beat Shelbyville. And like I say, my classmates and my teammates there's a lot of us gone now as far as that's concerned. A lot of my friends are gone, but they were friends all my life and made a lot of good friends and true friends.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
so that was the thing that I enjoyed more, the friends I had and stayed that way.
What, in your opinion, made your time at North unique?
Made it what?
Unique.
People, just good friends and way everybody attitudes. I don't think I had an enemy there, and it seemed like people got along extremely well, and that always made it pleasant.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you were in basketball. Were there any other sports or clubs you were in?
Track and baseball. I did better in basketball than I did the others, but I mean I participated in them and had tremendous good times. I was blessed, that's all.
Yeah,
Good coaches and good teammates and good friends.
that's all you need.
That's right. That's the way I felt, and I was happy that way.
Were there any other hobbies that you did with friends out of school?
Oh, yes. Back then, everybody did some hunting. We did a lot of rabbit hunting in hunting season. Some of the teammates would come out and friends would come out, and we'd rabbit hunt and just different things that would be done that way.
That's cool. Yeah.
That was always fun.
Okay, so she told us to ask you the question about you doing errands for.
Oh.
Yes, if you want to explain about that.
Miss Crow was also a business administrator, teacher, like typing and shorthand, stuff like that. Lived right across the street on 7th Street when we was down at the other school there that way. She broke her hip that way, so for, I don't know, a month or two, we had to help her to school each morning, a friend of mine, and we'd go over there and just across the street and up the sidewalk and steps. But she had to have support, so they asked us if we'd help her to get to school. So we went over there and basically halfway carried her in her wheelchair and brought her over there and enjoyed it. And she was very thankful. It was just a thing we could do to help.
Yeah.
And then another thing, the football coach at that time, like I say, they only had one car in most families then. Well, when he drove the car to school that way, his wife was home without any, so I'd say 4 or 5 times in a season that way, or a year in class, he'd ask me if I'd go pick up his wife. And I just didn't have to go down to principal's office or anything like that. He just asked me to do it, and I'd go get her down to D-Town and back, and time class was over, I was back, and that was always kind of interesting.
Yeah, you would never see someone do that here nowadays.
They wouldn't even allow it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're supposed to do it or not, but I just did what the teacher told me, and that's actual fact. And he was a good teacher too, so I had a lot of good experiences with teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And then another friend of mine, quite often in shop classes, there was some of the kids didn't quite follow the order and rules that way, and then there'd be complaints from others and I've been called along with another friend in the class at the same time from the principal and the vice principal to talk that way, what's going on in that class, and we'd just tell him the facts, and that was as far as it went. It wasn't the teacher's fault any more than the kids, but somewhere they clashed, and you know, they had confidence in it. We'd tell them the fact just the way they were, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting but prior to that being in school here, see, I went to St. Peter's.
So I went to St. Peter's
You also?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I rode with Miss Butler to school, and so that's why she was one of my favorite teachers, because I had a lot of experience with her. So when I'd walk from St. Peter's up to 7th Street there to get my ride home, a lot of time Miss Butler was still busy at school for maybe 30 minutes while I was over at the gym all the time watching the football players going in and out and the basketball practice. And so I was just a little gym rat for maybe a half hour every evening, sometimes longer and sometimes less. So I learned a lot of things just around school that way. That was very interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So when I got in here, I knew a lot of people had the environment a little bit better than if I just moved in, so that helped me.
Oh yeah, because St. Peter's is very small.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, well I think that's it. So thank you so much for coming in.
Well, happy to be here, and I hope I answered the questions to the best of my ability anyhow.
Great.
So that's happy to be part of it. I mean that.